The Space Center Houston, located 45 miles away from George Bush Intercontinental Airport and 17 miles away from William P. Hobby Airport. The entry fees for adults is around $29 and for seniors is around $28. The Space Center Houston is a science museum that serves as the official visitor center of NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston. The organization is owned by NASA and operated under a contract by the non-profit Manned Spaceflight Education Foundation. The Johnson Space Center is the home of mission control and astronaut training. The center opened in 1992, replacing the former visitor center in Johnson Space Center building number 2. The museum is 250,000 square feet and displays over 400 space artifacts, including the Mercury 9, Gemini 5, and Apollo 17 space capsules. Space Center Houston is the home of the Independence Plaza exhibit complex. This attraction contains the world's only space shuttle replica, where it stands mounted on one of the two original shuttle carrier aircraft. Independence Plaza is the only place where the public can enter both vehicles. The space shuttle replica Independence, formerly known as Explorer, was previously located at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex but was moved to make way for a new permanent attraction, HAL 4 Space Shuttle Atlantis. Independence is now displayed atop the retired shuttle carrier aircraft NASA 905. On August 14, 2014, a heavy lift called the Rise of Independence was completed to place Independence on top of NASA 905. The plane was transported to Space Center Houston from Arlington Airport on April 30, 2014. Space Center Houston was briefly considered as a home for one of the retired space shuttle orbiters, but the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, Enterprise Sea, Air and Space Museum, and California Space Center was instead selected. A NASA's report showing the final scoring showed Space Center Houston finished 10 among 13 museums competing for the 3 orbiters. Of the 3 remaining Saturn V rockets on display, only the one at the Johnson Space Center is made up of segments originally intended for flight. The exhibit Mission Mars opened in January 2017 and was developed with the help of NASA. It focused on the work of NASA is doing now for plan for future travel to Mars. Mission Mars teaches visitors about the planet through a variety of activities that transports them to the Martian landscape, including a virtual reality wall, real-time weather forecast, and Mars meteorite that guests can touch. Visitors can also see a full-size Orion research capsule, experience as an Orion spacecraft simulator, and get a look at the next generation of Mars rovers. The Astronaut Gallery showcases a comprehensive collection of spacesuits, including Pete Conrad's Apollo's tall moonwalk suit, the lectern that President John F. Kennedy used during his 1962 Rice University Stadium speech, reiterating his goal to land an American on the moon in the 1960s, is exhibited inside Destiny Theater. The Space Center Theater is a 5-story, tall 4K resolution theater that shows AVA-23 and Mission Control, the unsung heroes of Apollo. The Destiny Theater has a HD digital screen and shows a short historical film, Human Destiny, produced by Bob Rogers and Biasi Imagination Arts. A live program that lets guests become rocket scientists through interactive experiments performed by a center crew member. The mission briefing center features live presentations offering real-time updates on current NASA missions. International Space Station Gallery provides a look inside the space station. The Manned Space Flight Education Foundation's education department at the Space Center Houston is among the nation's leading science education resources. The programs are based on international science standards and focus on interactive science, technology, and engineering and maths activities to inspire learning and development problem solving and critical thinking skills for all ages, especially as related to human spaceflight and exploration. They have some programs include day camps, distance learning, field trips, homeschool days, overnight experience, scout camps, sensory-friendly evening space center, exploration stars, and team building for corporations and etc. Skylab V was proposed as a second US space station similar to Skylab that was planned to be launched by NASA for different purposes, mostly involving the Apollos, but was cancelled due to lack of funding. Two Skylab modules were built in 1970 by McDonnell Douglas for the Skylab program, originally the Apollo application program. The first was launched in 1973 and the other put in storage while NASA considered how to use the remaining assets from Apollo.